Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PWC. We are just 1 week away from Look Back in Anger, so we saw last week all of those championship matches and even a Hell in a Cell match. Some return superstars from last week competing against each other. We saw the Cult dominating the night one more time because they kept all of the gold. Tag team belts, ladies championship, everything. Hell in a Cell match, we saw Shlek getting his revenge over Big G. We also saw Shuri winning a number one contender match to get a ladies championship match tonight. So tonight the main event, Shuri will face Lilith for the ladies title. But now let's start this night off with a debut of a new PWC star that just came out of our development center. His name is Luther Sin. Luther Sin faced Ezekiel tonight to open the show, and Luther Sin has dominated Ezekiel and defeated his ass with an F10, which is a stripped down version from an F5 of Lesnar. Luther Sin is a huge Lesnar fan, and he defeated Ezekiel with his Renee move by F10. But now here comes the interesting thing, because after the match got over, we saw the very unexpected thing of them all. Elias came in to help his brother coming up because he was kind of knocked out in the middle of the ring. Elias came in to help his brother stand back on his feet, apparently just after attack his leg. So Elias turned heel on Ezekiel, his own brother, attacking his leg at first and then leaving him in the middle of the ring all alone and knocked out. So what is the reason for Elias doing this to his own brother? I never expected this, but that's what happened after Luther Sin made his debut and successfully defeated Ezekiel. Then Joseph got some words with Elias on the back to justify his behaviors. Well, I'm here on backstage, but what the hell just happened there, Elias? You just completely knocked out your own brother. Ezekiel, the man who has supported you in the last year. So, hey, give me that microphone, Joseph. You don't have the right to call shots on me because you don't know the reason. The reason is people that came from WWE's universe, those fans out there now, they seem like they are giving more credit to my brother Ezekiel than to me, the Elias who have been with WWE for years and years. So now this youngster Ezekiel comes out, which happens to be my brother, yes, but he also happens to be the guy who stole my spotlight in WWE. This new gimmick of the Ezekiel, my Elias's younger brother, is giving him more credit than to me who has worked my ass. Yes, than to me that I've worked my ass off to get my career to the next step in WWE. So do you really think I'm gonna let Ezekiel take what's mine? He may be my own brother, but he's living under my wings. The only reason he got himself into WWE was because of me. The only reason he's receiving some credibility now, it was all on me. And now people are leaving me behind because of my younger brother. Look, I would say that in wrestling industry there is no friends, but apparently what I see here, Elias, is that he is your brother, not just your friend. Joseph, stand back. If you don't want me to do something wrong to you, stay at your place and don't interrupt me. Ezekiel, you never saw this day coming, but I'm telling you, if I'm gonna see you ever again, it might be at Spring Fever. Because until that time, if you cross my path again, if you try to steal my spotlight one more time, This time it is gonna be way worse for you than it was tonight. And now it is time for the second PWC confrontation moment of the week. So as you know, tonight we have announced that at Spring Fever there are gonna be crowned the very first ever PWC Women's Tag Team Champions. So tonight we have started a tournament with ladies teams to see who's gonna get to the finals at Spring Fever. And we started things off with Twisted Sisters, Maddie and Allison Hayter, facing the surprise team of Trish Stratus and her return friend. The last time we saw them in Jungle Fury, Trish Stratus and Lita back in action for one more night. But that's what we gotta say, because Twisted Sisters, they defeated Lita and Trish Stratus. So the level of the Twisted Sisters is finally growing up. The question is, will they make it to the finals of Spring Fever? We're gonna have to wait and see on the next weeks. But for now, Twisted Sisters advanced on the tournament to crown the very first women's tag team champions at Spring Fever at the end of March. And now it is time for the third PWC confrontation moment of the week. It was Akira Tozawa facing Brian Kendrick. This match was a number one contendership match with European title implications. So the winner of this is gonna face Gabriel, the next contender to face Gabriel for the European title at Spring Fever at the end of March. So Akira Tozawa has defeated the Brian Kendrick. So Akira will collide against Gabriel at Spring Fever. This was a number one contendership match. And now it is time for the third PWC confrontation moment of the week. It was Zack Ryder facing Arthur Knight from the Cult. Arthur Knight has defeated Zack Ryder, but after the match got over, we saw a brutal attack by the Cult over Zack Ryder. And thanks to this numbers disadvantage, Zack Ryder was all alone in the hands of Soul Hunter and Arthur Knight until a surprise guy comes out from the entrance, that being Kurt Hawkins, coming out to save Zack Ryder, and it feels like Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are back together as a team. May they be the next challengers for the Colts tag team belts? We're gonna have to wait and see in the next couple of weeks. And now it is time for the fifth PWC confrontation moment of the week. So it was Shuri getting her ladies championship opportunity that she won last week at Look Back in Anger. She was facing Lilith for the ladies championship, but once again, Lilith has defeated one more challenger. Lilith has defeated Shuri, and Lilith is still the ladies champion. But then after the match got over, we saw a stare down. Some would say this was kind of a dream match in the last couple of weeks, until it comes a reality, perhaps tonight or even some week in the future. We saw an unexpected girl coming out from the aisle, Su Yung. Su Yung that has a very, I would say, bizarre history on Impact Wrestling. As the Impact Knockouts champion in the past, Su Yung came out having an intense stare down with Lilith. So this was probably one of the most weirdest and bizarre stare downs ever between two freaks. It seems like Su Yung is challenging Lilith for the ladies title at Look Back in Anger. And apparently Tyson Kidd has informed us that this match is officially confirmed, but it is confirmed to be a women's iron match. Wow, for the ladies championship. And now it is time for the last confrontation moment of the week. So we saw Rosie coming down to have an interview with Joseph, talking about what happened at Look Back in Anger. And then let's take a look of that. Well, I see here, Rosie, that at Look Back in Anger you were around the place, I would say. You were searching for your supposed friend Shafir that had a match at that night that she lost, that three-way with Shuri and Starlight Kid. By the way, we saw a couple of moments ago Shuri having her ladies championship opportunity. But on that night you tried to spoke with Shafir but you never got to her. So what happened then? Yes, that is right, Joseph. I tried to talk to her before the match and even after it to give her some advice. But I don't know what happened to Shafir. I thought we shared a friendship bound, even though she was away from the rings for a couple of times in the last few weeks. But I don't know, she left me in the dark with no answers at all. I didn't found her before, and after the match I think she just simply ignored me. I tried to talk to her from far away. She was already getting on her car to leave the building. The question is, did she hear me calling her out, or was she ignoring me? Or perhaps she didn't hear you. Well, that must be an option, but coming from Shafir, I don't think that is clearly something to consider about. And now here comes Shafir. Well, Rousey, if you were looking to say anything to me anywhere last week, if you were looking to find me out, I'm here in front of your face now. So would you mind please tell me what do you want out of me? Why are you becoming so aggressive? I thought we were friends. You have to understand one thing, Rousey. You know exactly why I left for weeks and weeks out of this ring. You know exactly the reason. I wanted to stay away to give an introspection to myself about what was going on with my career and those losses. So do you really think that I want to rekindle the past in some form and shape by going back in contact with you again? I'm not saying you are responsible for what happened to me. What I'm saying is, what happens in the past stays in the past. So our friendship is no longer a thing to consider about. It is dead and buried. What happened to you, Shafir? I don't think you're I don't really think you're right. Have you checked out a doctor or something? I understand that you wanna keep the past in the past, but taking that to the point of leaving behind your loved ones and the people who care about you generally, I don't think that is the right thing for you to do. I do whatever I wanna do, and you don't tell me what to do, Rousey. And if you don't want problems with me, cause I don't want any problems with you as well, I advise you to keep your distance away from me and let me continue on my path. A path that is gonna lead me to glory, my agenda, without you. Hey, no, come back here, Shafir. Oh, Rousey is grabbing Shafir's arm. Let me go before you repent. No, we have to talk about this, Shafir. What the hell is happening with you? Let me go. I say this one more time and the last time. Let me go. No, we have to talk. Oh, no, Shafir is attacking Rousey. I told you to let me go. Don't put your hands on me anymore. We are not together anymore. Oh, look at that. Shafir attacking Rousey here. Oh, I told you. Don't stick your nose on my business anymore. We're done.